Coach Kelly here, and this afternoon I have a very special guest, Kristen Hogerheide, HR Manager Extraordinaire. I have invited her on my show this afternoon. I just want to learn a little bit more about what she does, and then hopefully that might add some benefit to my audience. So, Kirsten, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. So why do you do what you do? I mean, what got you into this industry in the first place?
I've been in HR for about 24 years now, and I got into it, really, actually, as an admin at first. Then went back to school, got my master's degree, and I love it because I feel like a lot of people view the company's interests and the employees' interests as two different things, and I don't think they are. I think happy employees make for a productive company. Productive company can make for happy employees, and that's really just a matter of, finding the balance between the two.
So you started in admin and then you went back to school and got your master's. What's your master's in?
Labor policy, actually.
Okay. And so that's a new one for me. So does that fit with what you do now?
It does to some extent. I was originally going to work for unions, and then, you know, career paths take you different directions.
Okay. So how is it that you found your way if you've only been there for a couple of years?
I had lost a job due to COVID, was working somewhere else, and was just looking for something a little more fulfilling. I've worked in a lot of very buttoned up corporate roles. One of the things I like about where I work now is we're located in the South Bronx, and we do a lot of second chance employment, which is something that's really important to me. I also feel like it's a company that's really good to its employees, and their values align with my own, just as far as trying to make sure that people are taken care of, that people have access to things that they need. We have good health insurance for people, trying to, financially educate people to make good decisions for themselves and their families.
So when you say that they're a second chance employer, what does that mean?
Um, People who are returning citizens.
Okay. Well, good for them. Everyone
Yes,
deserves a second chance.
yes.
So I guess kind of as a segue, what is what's a favorite employee story that you could give me?
I had an employee who had been living in shelters and lost custody of his children. And through some help that my generalist and I gave him, and through his own hard work and perseverance, he got an apartment and got his kids back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, bless your heart for that. Um, what's one of the biggest mistakes that you see your employees make? And that's kind of a broad question, but
I feel probably that people often make choices in the moment without necessarily thinking about further repercussions. Like, oh, I think this is a great idea. Let me blow a lot of money on it. Or, oh, well, I'm not worried about my health now. So, I'll wait until several years down the line where it comes back to get me.
it's interesting that you say that because I'm literally putting together a new video right now that I'll record probably in about a week. And
Okay.
it is on that exact topic of making decisions in the moment, seemingly inconsequential decisions that can lead to disaster down the road
Yes.
because they just have a way of compounding over a period of time and then coming back and biting you in the butt. So that really resonates with me. Right? So,
It, it's such a delicate balance between living in the moment while eye for the future.
so one of my favorite books that I've ever read is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. He
Okay.
was he was editor of Success Magazine for about 10 years and just uber in that role. I mean, he had an opportunity to rub elbows with the movers and shakers in our country, if not beyond. Just a very sharp guy. But he teaches in that book, the essence of it is that very idea that you can't just look at what you're doing in the moment. You have to consider
Right.
the long-term ramifications. And it's totally, I mean, the way that I'll view the world now is I think about what I'm doing today, but I think about how's this going to impact me down the road. It is the lens that I view everything now. So Let's see. What do people misunderstand about your profession?
People tend to misunderstand, I'm not the law, or also that I think a lot of times in HR, people think of us as no fun. And, that we're the bad cop all the time. We're just there to get you in trouble. Oh no, HR wants to speak to me. And I often, if I send somebody an email, I'll be like, don't worry, it's not bad. Just please come up to my office.
I mean, for
I
the
think
most,
maybe that we do have their best interest at heart
I was
too.
going to say you've got to be an employee advocate for the most part. I mean, you're there to serve them and take care of them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it in
Mhm.
the first place. So,
Right.
uh, and I guess that's one of the things that you and I have in common. I mean, you have your employees to take care of, and I have my clients to take care of. I mean, they hired me to take care of them to help them to transform their health. So, um, what is one of the best compliments that you've ever received?
Hmm. One of the best compliments. Actually, this is a little silly, but I was told that people always underestimate me and that I come in and nail it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Um, so what's the best advice you've ever received?
To listen?
To listen?
Yeah. I think a lot of times we hear things and words will trigger an automatic response in our brain. Like, oh no, I know what they're going at. I know what they mean without fully listening to the person's story.
Most people in my experience are not the best listeners. They're just waiting their turn to say their piece. I mean, and you can read it in their body language. It can, it can be very apparent. How would your friends describe what you do for a living?
I think a lot of my friends, when I first started doing it, did think it was more of a buttoned up administrative role. Um, and now I know that I've got, and some of them I can't share, but some pretty, crazy work stories
Right.
that I think people think that it's a pretty good job. I mean, it's something that I feel good about at the end of the day, and I feel like I'm doing something to make the world a better place. Maybe not on a grand scale. We have about 250 employees, but I feel like if I'm making those lives better or trying to support people as they make their lives better.
So this is something that kind of strikes a chord with me, just what you just said. So I am a sponge for learning.
Right.
And I mean, I read and study every day. And that's a double-edged sword because as I encounter people that are many, many, many levels above me, it can sometimes make me feel inferior to the point of who am I to think that I can help people when this guy clearly knows 10 times more than I do. But then I'm grounded when I see a combination of two things. I'm grounded when I get back because I've just started creating educational videos in the last couple of months. And just
Okay.
and just some of the feedback that I've received has been very flattering and just from a couple of particular individuals, but also as long as I see people struggling with their health and all I have to do is go out into general public and there it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many gurus there are out there, their message is not resonating with the guy that's in front of me at the checkout aisle that clearly needs to lose 50 pounds or
Right.
the people, all of my members at my club. It doesn't matter how many high level people that are out there, their message is not resonating and not getting to the vast majority of my members. And so even though I don't have their ability, I have people right in front of me that still need help. And so I may not be able to serve at their level, but again, we
Service is service.
we can all make a difference. We can all
Hmm.
make a difference. Whatever level you are, there's someone that you can reach back and give them a helping hand and pull them forward. So what you said, I mean, I really identify with that. All right, this is kind of a crazy question.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with three people, and this can be a combination of people that are already gone and or people present, and or you can do a combo, three different people, historical, present, combination thereof.
Elizabeth Warren.
Who?
Elizabeth Warren.
Okay.
Senator from Massachusetts, presidential candidate.
Okay.
Um, let's see, Martin Luther King and Ernest Hemingway.
Okay. So why?
Elizabeth Warren, I really identified. I'm also from Massachusetts. Well, she's not from Massachusetts. She's Senator Massachusetts. I'm from Massachusetts
What
originally,
part?
and western part, so
Okay.
outside of Amherst.
Okay.
Um, I felt like she had really smart when she was running for president. She had really smart policies that were good for the country, but also really understood the struggles that people were going through and just how hard it is to make ends meet and how we just need I don't want to turn this to political, but
Oh no.
she resonated with me.
Okay.
Um,
So what about the other
Martin
two?
Luther I'm sorry?
What about the other two?
Martin Luther King, just because he was pretty amazing in fighting for the rights of everyone, and Ernest Hemingway because I just always loved his books. From The Old Man and the Sea, there was a very simple, no nonsense way to his writing.
Well, he was a great writer for sure. So one last question. If you could go back and give your 20-year-old self advice, given all that you've done, what would it be?
Relax. It's gonna be okay. When I was younger, I was very concerned about making the wrong decision, messing up my life irrevocably. And I think the older you get, the more you learn that very few decisions, not that decisions can be reversed, but that you're going to learn from them, you're going to grow from them, and you're going to keep going. You'll find a way.
We grow from the hard stuff, not from the easy
Yeah.
stuff, for sure. So, Kirsten, do you have any final words of wisdom?
Well, I know that what you do in training, it's actually funny. Today, I was reading this stat in SHRM, so Society for Human Resource Management, and it was talking about benefits and how so many people are diabetic that 1 in 4 healthcare dollars spent by companies are because of unmanaged diabetes. And the article itself was talking about encouraging exercise programs, encouraging weight loss clubs, just things to really help people live better lives, and not just that there's a company benefit to this too, beyond caring about people, but beyond wanting them to do better, but that there is a real dollar and cents to it at the end.
Well, and you know better than I do, but when people are missing work because of their health, that impacts the company's bottom line. I mean, that impacts
Yeah.
you in a variety of very negative ways. But that's I am a fitness professional, but I'm also a nutrition coach, and that is really my passion because regardless of what goals you have, whether it's build muscle, drop body fat, any combination thereof, the exercise is important, but the nutrition's the key. I mean, it really is. And
Yeah.
so many people struggle with their nutrition because they don't know what they're doing, and there's so much conflicting information in our I say society, but in the media in particular, people don't know who to believe, and
Right.
they can just in many cases I've seen people throw up their hands and just kind of take the path of least resistance, and that can lead to a very bad place. And so I am passionate about making a difference. And so what kind of, I mean, this is off script, but what kind of health initiatives do you have with your company? I mean, what I'm just curious because this is a new arena for me. I mean, what do you offer your employees, like gym membership discounts or benefits or anything like that?
Yeah, we do through one of our sort of umbrella ancillary benefits programs. There is a bit of a gym membership discount. I recently put an ERP in, I'm sorry, EAP. It's an employee assistance program, and this is more for mental health than physical health, but that allows people to call in confidentially and receive confidential counseling for them and anyone in their family, because of
So does your company offer a gym membership perk, or
it's something I've been considering.
is is that something that, I mean, based on even your past experience, do you think more and more companies are doing that, or is that still more the
It
exception to
is
the
something
rule?
that more companies are doing, especially as you try to tailor a benefits package that appeals to a wide variety of employees. We have people of all different demographics, recent college grads, people close to retirement, people in my age range. And so sometimes, your traditional benefits are really, they're pretty narrow. And if you're concerned about your health, you're really excited about health insurance, but it's not something that, say, a 28-year-old employee might be thinking as
Right.
much about. And so in trying to make a benefits package that isn't just, oh, well, it's there if I want it, but, oh, wow, this company is awesome. They're going to help me with this. And I also sort of feel like it shows a company's values, that we want you to be healthy. We want you to take care of yourself. We view you as more than someone who just clocks in, does their work, and clocks out.
So what about on the nutrition side? I mean, are there any initiatives that you're involved with your company to help people with nutrition choices?
At this moment, no.
So what do you think the feasibility, I mean, again, just given your background, because my wheels have been spinning about how I can reach out and engage and potentially help companies with their employees from a nutritional standpoint. I mean, what do you think the opportunity would be?
Hmm. Perhaps even coming in and giving classes, where a company would pay you for your time, and then employees can sign up. Um, a
So
lot of companies do training or, educational opportunities for people. So maybe hooking up to offer something like that.
So I have a program that I've developed. It's a 6 month program, and it's 12 different mini workshops. But to do it the way that I built it, it's because they get homework. They get they get to go and work on their homework, and then we meet again. And so that's something that I've wondered if that would resonate with a company. I mean, it could be done in person, it could be
Right.
done via Zoom. I mean, depending on the company, it might be just as easy to do it I mean, we're so used to using Zoom now and or other, like platforms.
Right.
But do you think that that would be a possible something that companies would embrace?
I could see that. Yes.
Because that would be much more than willing to do like an initial free complimentary workshop. And then if it resonated and people had an interest in continuing forward, then the company and I could talk about, the dollar signs. But
Right.
that's something that I'm very intrigued to see if there would be an opportunity to do something like that.
Yeah, I think that could be really interesting. And again, it becomes beneficial to the company as well, because the healthier your employees are, or even things like snack choices. I mean, we've all been there. You're having a bad day, you're hungry, you haven't had time to eat lunch, and you order fast food or go to the vending machine and eat a chocolate bar, and your energy doesn't go up. You go,
Well, and it's just that's those choices are not in your health's best interest for sure.
no.
So, well,
But
Christy,
people make them, and it's people make them a lot of the time because they're easy, because they're quick, because they're cheap, because they're just so overwhelmed with everything else that they don't have time to think about the ramifications of what they're doing, or that this really won't make me feel better.
and see, that's one of the things that I teach my clients. If you work in an office environment, if you're not bringing your own healthy food, you're hosed. Because
Yeah.
if there's other people that are not eating healthy around you, that negative
Right.
influence the negative tends to wear off on the positive. It doesn't work the other way around. And then most companies don't have the best choices in their break room or in like the vending machine. So if you don't bring your own healthy stuff, you're going to get hungry at some point. You're either
Right.
eating that or you're, path of least resistance. You're ordering, going out for fast food or having something, brought to or ordered, delivered to the office. So planning in advance and bringing your own food from home, that's the better way to go for sure.
And I try to remind people too, it's also much better on their wallets.
Oh, good gosh. It's
Sunday
amazing.
afternoon when you go shopping, you might be a little shocked, but by Friday, when you can break everything out for the week, you've spent so much less money. you've got more money to spend on your children or your house or whatever.
So that's one, we talked about the long-term ramification thing at the very beginning. That is one of, I have a consumer advocate hat that I wear. And it's like with protein powder or just other things that when I'm doing nutrition consults and I see things that people are doing, and I'm very nice in the way that I present this, but do you realize that you're spending X and that over a period of time you're spending X and you could be
Right.
using this product instead and save all this money? Or for people that eat out every day, good grief, that's expensive versus bringing your own from home. And I think they don't always listen to me, but when I frame it up and with, oh my God, I'm spending that over a period of time, like you're spending this over the course of the year.
Right.
The day in and of itself, it doesn't resonate so much, but the extra couple of thousands you're spending over the year, it's like, wow, or 5 years or 10 years. I mean, you have to look at the long-term ramifications. So
That's a vacation. It's money in your 401k that can then compound and get even bigger.
yes, ma'am. So I appreciate your time. It's been great visiting with you. Any final thoughts?
I would love to hear more about that book you mentioned early on. If you can maybe shoot me a list on that later.
I will send you the link once we sign off. I've been following him. Again, his name is Darren Hardy. I've been following Darren since about 2011.
Okay.
And I bought the audio version of the book originally, and I've listened to it probably a lot. But it is, and I'll do this for you as well. He has a daily Monday through Friday. It's called Darren Daily.
Okay.
He is he delivers it via email. I'll send you the one from today, and then you can click on that to sign up.
Thank you.
But Darren is a sought after keynote speaker I've seen him speak in person actually here in Dallas. I got to meet him a few years ago, but he is good as you'll ever see. I mean, he's amazing and just very, very, but that book is a game changer. I think, and it's a quick read. I mean, you can read it, it's a quick read. So I'll send you information on that.
Thank you. And I love what you're doing. I love the idea of going into workplaces and helping people be healthier. If that's something that you end up exploring.
Well, cross your fingers for me. Well, Kirsten, thank you so much. I will send you that information and I wish you the best.
Hey, thank you. You as well. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.